I generally enjoy the films of Liam Neeson, and I find him to be an actor that makes reasonably decent films, but where he plays a character that you can usually believe in. Now, his characters, I admit, are largely in action movies, over the top ones where he utilizes his particular set of skills that usually involve killing and causing great bodily harm. The plots are never really anything too deep, and oftentimes the story itself is kind of silly and ridiculous, but I still enjoy the films nevertheless. One of the things I like about Liam Neeson is that when you watch him in a film, it doesn't matter how silly the film might be. Has his daughter been kidnapped? Or has he lost his memory? Or is he trying to find a killer on an airplane? Whatever. No matter what the situation is, he is able to project a believability. You see what his plight is, and you believe in him. You want to see him resolve things and work everything out in the end. And I think that really speaks a lot about his ability, because it doesn't matter how bad the film is. He's an actor that you enjoy watching, and you want to follow his story. And on the subject of debatable films, I will admit I'm one of the few people on earth that really enjoyed The Phantom Menace, the first film of the Star Wars prequels. Admittedly, it's not perfect. But if you watch it primarily as a Liam Neeson-driven vehicle, a story that's wrapped around his character primarily, that of the Jedi Knight Qui-gon Jinn, you'll find that it's a much richer experience, and you can really look beyond the Jar Jar pod racing stuff. And I thought he really carried that film well, and it's a shame that he's only in that first film. I won't drop any spoilers, but you can probably, if you haven't seen The Phantom Menace, you can figure out why he doesn't appear in any of the other prequel films. But he carried that film well, and these 5 films I want to talk about, I think, are examples of films that, like The Phantom Menace, they're not great works of art, but they're still enjoyable to watch, and I think he is the difference. He is what makes these films work. First is the film Taken. I realize there's 3 of these films, and I'm going to talk about all 3 because I just binged through these recently. Liam Neeson plays a retired CIA guy with that specialized set of skills. And the plot is that his daughter has been kidnapped by human traffickers, and Liam is out to rescue her. And this is the film where he does his infamous line of, "I don't know who you are, but I will find you and I will kill you." And you know what? You believe him, because he's a great actor. You don't mess with Liam Neeson. He's got that set of skills, and in fact, for all 5 of these film reviews, actually, he pretty much puts that set of skills to use, even though he's playing different characters in the latter 2 films I'm going to talk about. And he lays down some serious smack. Does he succeed and rescue his daughter? Well, considering she's a recurring character in the next 2 Taken films, I'll let you draw your own conclusions on that. But needless to say, Liam goes to work, he causes tremendous bodily harm, and he stays true to his earlier promise. So that's the first Taken film. The second Taken film came out in 2012. And I have to be honest, this one did feel largely unnecessary. It generally is the theme of a revenge film. It's the part 2. The bad guys who lost loved ones from the first one, they want revenge. And although you kind of know what's going to happen, it's a very shallow story. It's still a fine bit of action adventure with a little bit of silliness. This time he and his estranged ex-wife are taken hostage in Istanbul, and did I say that right, Istanbul? Anyhow, he uses his particular set of skills to talk on his iPhone with his daughter, giving her directions to find the location where he has been taken prisoner. So it's got a lot of tense moments. There's a big chase scene and lots of violence, as you would expect. And the ones responsible for taking him captive are Albanians, and they're led by this Albanian guy who wants revenge because Liam killed his sons in the first Taken film. Well, what do you think's going to happen? You think things are going to work out well for the bad guys? I'll watch it and find out. Taken 3 came out in 2014. This time, Liam Neeson is on the run for a crime he didn't commit. And I actually like this one a lot. Probably the most of the entire series, because it had elements that reminded me of Harrison Ford in The Fugitive, which is one of my favorite films. But this time, Liam is on the run, and he's using his particular set of skills not just to beat up people and to waterboard one guy, but he's also trying to solve a murder that he was falsely accused of. Now, what bothered me about reading the reviews for this film is that they drop a major spoiler about this picture, and that's not cool. So if a viewer wants to watch this film for yourself, skip the reviews and just go right into this one and find out why Liam has been accused and why he's on the run. It's a satisfying end to the series. That's assuming it's the end, although it would be cool to see Taken 4, A Ride. Sorry about that. The fourth film I wanted to talk about was Non-Stop. This also came out in 2014. And in this film, Liam Neeson plays a kind of bitter, alcoholic, chain-smoking air marshal. And he's on a plane when threats of passengers dying start to get sent into him on his phone through text messages. And when this starts to happen, he has to solve the mystery of what is going on and who is responsible before it's too late. He befriends the red-haired actress from the Jurassic Park Lost World film. I can't think of her name off the top of my head. And I can't really get much more into the plot, as this and the next film both have this entertaining Hitchcock level of suspense and tension that I don't want to ruin by giving out too many details. It's a very neat film to actually see how he handles these situations of these text messages coming in to tell him to do stuff or to give him clues about murders and so on. And you got to watch it. I think you'll really enjoy this one. There's a little bit of language and violence, as there are in all of these films. Oh, it's Julianne Moore. That was the actress. And it also stars the actress from Downton Abbey. And there's another actress I can't remember, but then again, that's a show I've never watched. And you know what I like about airplane-themed thrillers? There's this claustrophobic atmosphere. It's sort of like, a mystery film that takes place on a train. It's in this setting where you can't really get out, and there's only so many places you can go, and somewhere in that very small, confined place is someone creepy with creepy intentions. So this one is good. This was Non-Stop. It's worth checking out. Finally, the film Unknown from 2011. Now, this one really played up the epic Hitchcock-level suspense, and it really kept you guessing. And I love films like that. So, like before, like some of the other films, don't read the reviews. Jump right into this one, because it's a good story, and it's very cleverly acted by Liam. So, his character is traveling to a hotel with his wife. They're going to attend a medical conference he's speaking at. On the way, he's in an accident. He bonks his head, and he falls into a coma for a few days. Okay, yeah, I know they do gimmicks like this and MacGyver and stuff, and it's kind of silly, but just trust me on this one. Get beyond the coma thing. He wakes up, and he finds his wife, but finds out she has no memory of him, and now she's married to another guy. And people he knows all seem to be abandoning him, and he's left alone, lost and confused, in Germany, trying to figure out what happened. And, he's trying to figure it out, and we're trying to figure out, did this bonk on his head mess up his brain or mess up his memories, or is something more sinister going on? And then once you get to the big reveal, and it all starts coming together like a puzzle, it's just fantastic. Just, again, do yourself a favor, skip reading any reviews, and just jump right into this one. Diane Kruger was the co-star. She was the skinny actress from the National Treasure film with Nicolas Cage, and she does a good supporting job in the film. So some closing thoughts on all 5 of these films. Liam Neeson, let's be honest, he's mostly the same character. He's a tough guy with that particular set of skills. There's plenty of fighting, running, phone threats, text messages. He's generally a great actor and convincing in everything he does, I think. There are dangerous situations he gets thrown into, and because he's just a believable guy, you want to see how he resolves these situations. generally with a lot of violence. Unknown was probably my favorite of the bunch, just because it felt so much like a Hitchcock homage, and I love these Hitchcock films lately. I've been going through a ton of them. And one of the interesting Hitchcock style effects is watch how the camera will take odd angles as Liam Neeson is having these episodes trying to remember things. It really adds to the effect in a very creative way. And you, the viewer, are left wondering, what is going on? Is he crazy or not? So, Unknown will keep you guessing the most. And, again, throwing it in the setting of Germany where he doesn't speak the language and he's just kind of lost, that really adds to the tension as well. So these are 5 films by Liam Neeson. I think they're all really good. They're all worth checking out. And he remains one of my favorite actors. You'll probably hear more reviews of his films in the future. I mean, yes, I'm still digging into the past, but if I'm going to watch more recent films, it's going to be something like this. I find these type of films are entertaining and usually worth checking out.